Canelo wasn't able to do it, sort of the same thing. Do you think you're the right Mexican to beat Bivol?
I've sparred Bivol a lot, so I know what happens in those sparring sessions. So yeah, I can beat him.
You think you're the guy?
I can knock him out.
How's it going, everyone? Hope you guys are all doing well. Obviously, news has broken that it looks like Dmitry Bivol is set to fight David Benavidez. Deal being finalized for this summer. So yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts about this? Obviously, I'm going to break down what I think in the video. Before we get started, as always, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow, so much appreciated. But yeah, very interesting news. Obviously, Dmitry Bivol just coming off of that victory against Artur Beterbiev in the rematch in Saudi Arabia. And I think a lot of people thought that the trilogy was going to happen. Obviously, Artur Beterbiev has just come out with a post recently talking about, he's back in the gym, back training. So I don't think Artur Beterbiev is going to retire. And therefore, it leaves the question, obviously, what is next for him? But as for Dmitry Bivol, it looks like he is set to fight David Benavidez. Obviously, this is not, deal set in stone yet, but, deal looks like it's on the way to being finalized against David Benavidez. Now, I think number one, I think the very interesting thing is where is it going to happen? Me personally, I really hope that fight does not happen in Saudi Arabia. I think that fight is a massive fight in America. And I think in Saudi Arabia, I think Bivol's a massive favorite. Obviously, David Benavidez is a PBC fighter. And ultimately, Turki Al-Sheikh has shown the fact that he's massively biased. We just saw a PBC fighter, Carlos Adames, get robbed. We obviously saw Turki Al-Sheikh going to Hamza Shiraz's corner, telling him the score and pretty much just confirming who he wanted to win that fight. And I really disagree with that, okay, because I've seen other guys, like I'll give you an example. Bob Arum, obviously, loves Lomachenko. Lomachenko is his guy. Devin Haney fought against Lomachenko. He signed a, one-fight deal with Top Rank. And Bob Arum stayed impartial. Bob Arum did not get in the way. He stayed neutral. He didn't pick a side. He just, he put the fight on and he just watched. So I think that, that's really what the route that Turki Al-Sheikh should take. I don't think when you're the promoter putting on these fights that you should, just be completely one-sided. Obviously, then we saw the Artur Beterbiev-Bivol rematch. I thought Beterbiev won that fight. But again, you're going over to Saudi Arabia. Bob Arum was not there. Eddie Hearn is Bivol's promoter. Eddie Hearn is there working with Turki Al-Sheikh. He's on DAZN. Bivol fights on DAZN. So that means all of them want Bivol to win. All of them are going to look at what Bivol is doing. Every single time that man throws a punch, they're going to say, amazing work from Bivol. And a lot of the time I'm watching and, some of those punches are not even landing. So I think the very interesting thing, number one, is where that fight is going to be. Obviously, I hope that it is in America. And I think if the fight is in America, it's a massive fight, number one. Dmitry Bivol is someone that everyone knows who he is now. Off of that Canelo fight, he is undisputed. And Benavidez is also a star in his own right. So I think, the Mexican fan base will really get behind Benavidez in that fight. And it will be very interesting. I think a lot of people, it's kind of both sides of the spectrum in this fight. I think number one, people overrate Bivol a lot. I think he is a very good fighter, but I think his fighting style, I think if that's anyone else, people will be very critical of it. I think now everyone's, a fan of Dmitry Bivol. They like that Soviet style, but he does a lot of moving. He does a lot of running, in my opinion, and he fights to survive a lot. He fights in spurts. The difference between boxing and running. I have never ever criticized Usyk for running. Lomachenko, even Shakur Stevenson likes to stay in the pocket and slip punches. Whereas Bivol, I feel like he just does a lot of moving. And then David Benavidez, exceptional fighter. Really beat up Caleb Plant. Very good win against David Morrell. And it seems like there's a lot of people out there saying, David Benavidez is unproven. He's not really showing anything. He's obviously someone that's called out Canelo Alvarez, and maybe that's rubbed people the wrong way. But what is he supposed to do? He's in and around the same weight as a guy, that's obviously the cash cow, and also, Mexican. It's a massive fight. Really, what is Benavidez supposed to do? Is he supposed to not say Canelo's name? Is he supposed to tell people that he does not want that fight? okay, you know, maybe there's a little bit more of a respectful way to go about it, but it's boxing. So I really think that, you know, you should call out that fight and you know, tell people how good you think you are. So again, you know, I think it's, you know, whereas Bivol's a little bit overrated, I think Benavidez is a little bit underrated. This is a guy that, you know, he has no blips in his resume. You know, very good fighter. And I think that's, you know, that's a very, very, very tough fight for Dmitry Bivol. Artur Beterbiev, as good as he is, and you know, you guys all know what I think about Artur Beterbiev. He is 40 years of age. David Benavidez also, you know, massive, you know, big puncher, strong, volume, you know, pressure fighter, but, you know, 27, 28 years of age, you know, smack in the middle of his prime. So it's going to be very, very interesting if that fight happens. If that fight happens, obviously, you know, where is it going to be? And then number two, you know, who do you guys think would win that? Obviously, you know, it's a fight that's a long way away, so we don't need to get into predictions just yet, but it's a fight that I hope to see. Obviously, you know, let's see what happens. It's not finalized yet. Will they look at a Beterbiev trilogy instead? You know, very interested to see the you know, the developments up and coming. So, as always, thanks to you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next video.